Okay, my good people, let's continue with the story of how I survived the narcissistic abuse I was in with my marriage. Yeah, part one, I told the story of how I met my ex-husband, and now I'll continue with part two. With part two, the last thing I told in part one is how we went back to Germany to be with his family for, or whatever he told me. He told me his family. I don't know if it is the truth, but that's what I was told at the moment. And yeah, he kept calling, and by then there was WhatsApp was not that popular, so he was calling me on a landline, not a landline, but just normal phone calls, which was telling me later costed him a lot. And yeah, we were talking every day. He was telling me he's coming, he's preparing, he's coming back to Namibia so we can get married. But still, I haven't told my parents. I thought, okay, I will only be sure when he's finally here, then I can tell my mom that I met someone. But in the meantime, my sister ended up telling my mom, my parents, and they did not believe her, and I also denied. I just said it was a friend and he went back. And yeah, but then I was living with my little sister who unfortunately passed on. Yeah, I was always trying to help my mom with my siblings because I knew what was happening at people's houses. I didn't want my mom to send my siblings to relatives, to live with relatives. I was abused extremely, physically beaten up for living with my grandmother. She was actually not my grandmother, she was my grandmother's sister, but I was abused everywhere we were living, we were abused. So really I was trying to help my mom as much as I can. So my little sister was living with me. She knew the whole story, she knew the calls, she knew what was going on, and yeah, she and my little boy were living with me. Yeah, so by then, it was now New Year 2004, and I was told my partner, the new boyfriend, was telling me he's coming. Actually, I told him when he was in Namibia, I told him why I left my boyfriend, my baby's father. It was due to alcoholism, too much of substance abuse, and I told him that. So during this day, this man made sure he was not drinking. We would come for coffee. That was all we were drinking, and obviously soft drinks. But I hated alcohol. I hate alcohol, and he knew that. But then already the Finnish girls were telling me they would be going clubbing in the evenings, and they will tell me, your boyfriend is dancing all night. He will never leave the dance floor. So I thought, okay, he's here for holiday. He's a free person to enjoy. Sometimes I didn't mind that he was partying. And of course, the Finnish girls were telling me that he was only talking about me. So it was really flattering. I was feeling good. I was flattered. I was, of course, also now starting to like the guy because he was really determined. He was so motivated to have me as his girlfriend, and as he was saying, his wife. So I was also starting to fall in love with him, or fall liking him. So yeah, so that was what was happening. So when he went home, he called in March. He called and say, I will be there with you tomorrow. And then that was in March. So it was December, January, February, March. It was now the fourth month after we met. So he was coming back. I was now running around looking for transport to go pick him up at the airport. I found transport. I went to the airport. At the time we agreed and we met. I found him there, and we were so happy. I was happy that he was back, and we were now he was just telling and telling, and by then still, as much as I was now trying, not trying, but I learn how to understand him. I was now able to understand his talking, his way of talking. It was super mixed of all the languages he knew. So by now I could understand him. So I picked him up and he came. He had a 50 euro in his pocket. That's all he had when he came back to Namibia. And yeah, he was telling about his business and his ex-wife who took away everything from him and all the things. But I was just thinking, okay, as long as we are together, as long as we build this thing together, because of my ex-boyfriend, my baby's father was not involved in his child's life. He was really not caring about us. He was living on his own, and now I found someone who is willing to be with me, willing to be a father for my little boy. So I was really excited to start this new journey. Yeah, as they say, the road to a single mom's heart is through her child. So yeah, when I saw how he was with my little boy, I was really excited to see my little boy finally having a father who was willing to be involved in his life, a father figure who will be there for my little boy. So yeah, so I brought him home. I was living in a little shack in this resettlement, or this not a resettlement, these plots, little F's in Windhoek. So I took him there and we started planning how we will improve the little life we have. We had nothing. We really had nothing. I even asked my mom to take my little sister back because now I was with someone who still don't have a job, who just moved from another country, and we try to figure out things. And yeah, finally I introduced him to my mom, and in 2 weeks we were already planning my wedding. Yeah, I forgot to mention when we were dating with this meeting face in December, he was talking about God and how he loves God because I'm a Christian, so he was trying to behave like a Christian also. So he was talking about God. Even if you go see his Facebook or wherever his platforms, he's someone who is posting about God. His actions and his what he's posting doesn't fit. What he's doing and what he's posting, what he's talking is not this. It's not fitting. It's not matching. So till today, he will say, "God bless you. God is with you. God, 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 God." But his actions are extremely different from what he's saying. So yeah, so this time he was not drinking. He was talking about God, and I was liking that I finally met someone who is also on the same page with me, as a Christian, as someone who wants to learn more about God, who wants to serve God. And yeah, then we started. We improved this man is gifted. If he was using his gifts to improve his life, he would be far in life. His hands, he can do anything. He was cooking, he was cleaning. When I brought him to my mom always tried to have a little farm place, little farm. She is a born farmer. She would always try to have a little homestead. So I brought him there and he was working hard. He was planting for my mom creating a little garden place. He would be going with the farm boys collecting firewood. He would walk like a black man, collecting firewood, collecting water, collecting anything that people were doing, the guys were doing at the farm. He would be joining. He was not behaving like I'm a foreigner, I'm a white man, I must be sitting and be served. no, this man was working hard, morning sun to the evening, he would be working. And then also that convinced me, okay, I've brought a man who is bringing up my family, who is supporting my family, who is working for my mom, who is helping me build my mom's place. So that was also one thing that motivated me. Okay, I can go ahead and marry this guy. I can go ahead and be with this man because I brought a man, a son-in-law that my mom is now getting help also. And this man will be working so hard helping my mom, bringing his side. And that was also making me proud as the girlfriend, as the partner, that I brought someone who is helping my mom, because my heart, my soul, my heart was with helping my mom getting better, having a better life. She struggled so much. We struggled so much. We were extremely poor. We had nothing. My mom had nobody, so she was always struggling. So bringing extra set of hands that could help my mom build this farm, they build these little dreams she had. It was wonderful. I was feeling very proud that I brought this man. Yeah, and then when he came in middle of March, in April, 17th of April, we were married. Yeah, but I was extremely, I have something that I learned as a survival skill. I'm super observant. I'm extremely observant because that was how I was surviving. As a child, I would observe people when they were angry and how to escape being beaten up. So I would observe, especially my grandmother, when she was biting on her lips like this. I knew she's angry, she wants to beat now. So I would make myself out of the way. My stepfather, when you would come home drunk, I would observe how he's behaving. I knew when he was drunk there will be a fight breaking out any moment, so I would make myself out of the way. So I grew up learning about people, observing people, people's behavior. And there was something about my partner that I was not settled. I was not at peace. And I talked to my mom had a prayer partner. So I talked to her about this, and she said sometimes when we are always not having good life, not having good things happening to us, we question good things that are happening to us. But she prayed with me, and I tried to get peace inside of me, trying to convince myself I'm making the right thing. And on the wedding day, I remember telling my uncle, then my uncle was a saved man. He was a pastor and he was driving me to the church. And I said, oh, Uncle, Ome, we said, Ome, Uncle, I still feel like I'm making a mistake. I'm the firstborn. I was the first one getting married from my mom's children. So I was still not happy. I told him, I feel like I'm making a mistake. And he said, don't you see? Every robot we are coming, traffic lights we call robots in Namibia. I think it's a South African thing. Every robot we are coming is turning green. Every time we don't even stop, we are just flowing through to the church. That is a sign from God that you are doing the right thing. It's a green light. Go ahead. I pray for you. We pray for you. Go ahead. Don't be scared. Yes, so I had a little ceremony. I got engaged on the 16th, Friday and Saturday we got married. It was not a celebration. I really told my mom, please don't make a big deal out of it. I just borrowed my sister's auntie's dress. He was wearing his old suit. I don't know where he got it. Maybe he brought it. And it was just a small thing. Nobody was invited. No, just the friends and my father's friends came and started playing guitars, and they put on a white. Everything happened so fast, and I was super scared that I'm making a mistake. So he got someone who sent him little money, and we really were just doing out of our pockets. I really had nothing. That little job was not paying so well, and yeah, and we just gathered and slaughter something. It's traditional to slaughter something. He arranged some people and was asking for my hand. It's traditional ceremony, so he was crawling a little bit and asking people. When my mom were asking questions, he would keep saying, "She has the most beautiful eyes." And my one auntie said, if she lose the eyes tomorrow, what will you do? If you are only talking about beautiful eyes, and if this woman lose the eyes tomorrow, will you drop her? Will you leave her? She is a child, she is a family. He was saying, yeah, I know about that little boy. He's my son. From the first day, he was calling him my son. And about my family, he said, I work out my mother's farm, my mommy's farm. I'm working. I know how to work hard. I'm a strong German. I'm working hard. And he was just convincing them that he's the right person to marry me. And we just slaughtered. We had this engagement Friday night just behind my mom's yacht. Just small little thing, no big money. I think the whole ceremony was $2,000 Nambian. So we just had a little engagement behind my mom's yard. The next day we went to the church, big church. Then we just tied the knot. And red flags, maybe because I thought at that time, I thought it's maybe because I'm looking for these red flags that I'm seeing that the enemy is showing me. Because at the altar, he asked my pastor, the pastor, if he can take my surname, if he can become a Sabeb. And the pastor laughed loud and said, no, in our country, we don't do that. The woman takes your surname. But it never left me. I was wondering, why is he not happy? Why is he not proud to have his surname? Is there something about it? But then I brushed it away. We were all laughing, making fun. It was a happy day. It was a happy day. Yeah, so we just had the wedding and we came back, had some lunch, and Sunday we were back at our place, back at our home, little shack home, and we started our life. People were staring because it was the first time for them to see a white man living in shacks. Yeah, it was. I was embarrassed. I was super embarrassed because I married a poor white man. It's like a curse. It's usually people think, or even me included, I thought white people always have a lot of money to take care of themselves, until I went to Germany and see poor people, white people with no money, nothing, living on streets. Sometimes I see white people living on streets in Germany. And yeah, for me, in 2000s, early 2000s, I was so embarrassed to have a white man living in a shack, little shack that I built. Okay, he was improving, but I really was just praying that he gets a job and we can live a better life. And of course, people were laughing at us like, yes, he married a poor white man. What's the use of marrying a white man who is nothing? Someone even say you are insulting your ancestors. First you marry a white man and now you don't even have nothing to eat. The people were very cruel. But I believed, okay, we'll build our little life so long we have each other. He's there for my little boy and we'll make it work. That's what I was working for. That's what I was working towards. I didn't care about him having much or nothing. I was just supporting my husband. Now he was my husband and I was supporting my husband. Yeah, 6 months into our marriage, things I started seeing that he was drinking. He lied about not drinking. He lied about not liking alcohol. He liked alcohol. He liked going out. He liked being in shebins, being in places I would never dream of going, places I never went to. I saw places after I met my husband. I saw places I never knew there were shebins, so many shebins, until I saw my husband was going friends with everyone. Honeymoon phase was going away. He was now married. He finally had he finally had nothing to prove. He was now a married man. I was now his wife, and he was showing his true colors were coming out now. Slowly, slowly, his true colors were coming out. I remember one day someone told me, your husband is at this ship in they were building, they were done with Roman Brook, but there were another constructions going on. So he would go there. There was some deli shop there, and he was friends with those people who would sit there and drink, taking alcohol on credit and drink. These people were like, yeah, obviously German. Though they think, they thought that he will get money some way, someday, and he would be paying off. So, but it was all coming out of my salary. He had no money. He had no one sending him money, as he was telling around people. So he was making a debt there, a bill, and drinking there, and he didn't come home. He did not come home that night. The next morning, it was the first time he disappeared and not coming home. The next morning, I tried to find him, and I went with a friend of mine, and I found him at the second house next to the deli we was drinking with girls in on the floor in one, like they were just having mattresses on the floor, and there were girls and people were on couches, and it was just chaotic. And the owner, the people of the house, the auntie came out and say, oh, we told your husband, the German man, we told him to go home, but he was too drunk, so we just gave him a mattress to sleep on the floor, and nothing happened. Actually, nothing happened. You see, the children are just lying there on the floor, and I just went home. But I was so disappointed. I thought, no matter how poor you are, I decided to marry you. But cheating and this thing that you are doing now, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be part of it. I went to my mom and her prayer partner, and I said, I don't want to be married anymore. I don't like what this man is doing. And my mom and her prayer partner said, no, this is how we are carrying our marriage. You see, my mom actually, and the prayer partner, the auntie I was in the beginning also telling about why I don't want to go ahead with the prayer, with the getting married story. She was encouraging me and praying with me and told me, no, it's just 6 months and now you want to give up already. That's not how it's done. Look at me, look at your mother, look at how we are caring, how we are staying no matter what. We are staying with your fathers. We are staying with the husbands. That is not how it's done. Pray for your husband. And the enemy will try to take your husband away from you. Just pray for him. So I went home and prayed for him. I was praying for him. Yes, and the following year, fortunately, one day there was a German guy, dropping off his workers, people who are working for him, and he saw this German man. Actually, the guy told him, that is a German man, and they started talking. And he told him, I'm living here, and this is my wife. And the guy said, okay, come see me tomorrow. I can arrange something for you. People, they think with these foreigners in our country, they help each other. I just wish we have that culture also when we are abroad, when we are in Europe, when we are in wherever, when we are abroad. These people, they help each other. These German people, the German nation in Namibia, they were really trying to help my husband. If anyone would hear about a job, about something, and try to connect him with people, they were really trying to help this man. If he was just open to accept the help, and when he get the help, grab it with both hands and build his life. That's what was missing. That was the biggest thing that was missing. So this guy, he said, come tomorrow and I will help you. And this guy really, he connected him with a big company as the engineer something. He was qualified engineer in something, specialized in something. programming or machinery, programming and machinery and programming. So he connected my husband with these people, and towards the middle of 2005, we were already, he was having a great job, and we moved also from my little shack house. We were living a little bit better life than we were living in my little shack in my little area. We were living there. The life was now improving. The life was getting better. He was having a good job. He even bought a little scooter, and he was going with the little scooter to his job. And yeah, the life was improving. And I even asked my mom to bring my sister back, because my sister was in a town school. She was placed at a town school, and my mom was struggling with the taxi money, with the my little sister's taxi money. So I took my sister back, and she was now living with us. My little boy, my little sister, and me and my husband were living there. I could also support my family. I could send groceries to the farm. Yeah, it was really, I was feeling proud. I could help my mom. I could take care of some bills for my mom. I could come to the farm with lots of shopping. In fact, my little sister, all of them are younger sister. Let me say younger sister. She even had a baby boy, and my husband not adopted, but he became a godfather to this little boy. He was born a day before my husband, so he loved children. He loved children, and he brought this little baby. We don't bring babies in our culture. We don't bring babies out when they are newborn babies. He brought this newborn baby out and said, "Look at this, and there. This is our baby. This is ours now. I'm taking this one. He was born a day before my birthday. I'm taking this one." And he even gave him a name, and he was spoiling that little boy. Whenever he had no milk, no diapers, my sister was just calling and saying, your child has no milk, your child, and he will make a plan and take care of that. He was really seriously taking this position of a godfather seriously, and he was taking care of that little boy, and all these things was like helping me to forgive the mistakes he was making, because he was also trying. He do something, and then he will come back and try and fix it, and he would be fighting, and he would be trying and fixing again. So we were back and forth with this good bad face. Yeah. I also decided to go to the college. I started studying. I was applying every year. I was applying. I've been teaching for years without a diploma. So when my husband got a job, I was finally accepted, maybe because of my teaching experience throughout the years. And I was now finally also at the college. That was now 2006, I think. Yeah. So the college was also very near from the way I was. He would be spoiling my little boy. He was constantly being the best daddy ever. He would take my boy out for parks, for school functions. My little boy's teachers knew my husband more than me. He was so involved. He said he's so blessed to have a little boy. All these years he was praying to have a child, but he couldn't have a child. Now God bless him with this little boy, and he was spoiling this little boy. He was doing anything and everything for this little boy. He had bikes, he had these toys, these special toys, these tractors you could even sit in. And now that I was living better again, I was doing the same thing. When I was before I even met my husband, when I started teaching at the farm school, my place was always full. My sisters, my sisters' children, my auntie with her husband, when they had no job, they would come holidays and come live there. I would take in my siblings, put them in schools. My house was always full. I felt it's my responsibility to take care of my siblings. My siblings were my babies. Even before I had a child, my siblings were my babies. So I was always making sure whenever I was in a good place, I'm making sure my family, my mom and my siblings were taken care of, because I didn't want my siblings and my to be in the same place where I was beaten up by relatives and all those things. So now I was living in a good area, good neighborhood. My house was always full. My sister would come with her boys. When we wake up, my husband have already went and picked them up. They are cooking here, barbecue here. That they would be, the children will be full in my house. I was that auntie. I was that auntie. Seriously, I was that auntie who was always taking care of, or always having my sister's children around for weekends, for holidays, for yes, that was me. That was me, having my house full, because I felt God put me in this position. God blessed me with something to bless the others in need. So, especially my siblings, my mom, they had no good life. So, I was trying to enjoy whatever I'm getting with them, so they will also feel the joy. They also be part of whatever I was achieving, whatever I was having. When I eat good, when I was eating salad with barbecue, I would be having my family around, or I would go Sundays and bringing my mom a bucket of meat and salad, and those were things we never had growing up. We only grew up with pap and soup. So whenever I was eating good, I would be thinking about my family. My family was there again. My mom would actually pass by there when she was going to farm, and my husband would go shopping, do a big shopping. There was a big shopping mall opened in Comastal. So you would take my mom there, and then they will go to farm with big shopping. So yeah, and I was feeling so proud. I'm finally the older sister who is taking care of the siblings and the parents. And that was making me, that those faces I would sleep so well, because I'm finally doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, but even when I had nothing, I would be collecting that farm school, especially. I would be collecting my food. We were getting, if you are working at the hostel, we were getting little food, cup of rice, cup of beans, those things I would collect and send it to my mom. Even if when I had nothing, I would still try to collect things for my mom and my siblings, just to help her. Yeah, because we were so many, see, so many children. I think we were seven children, and the relatives were very cruel. The relatives were not very helpful, and I was trying to, as soon as I got a little job, I was trying to support my mom as much as I can. We are building our life. We are buying furniture. Every room has a TV. The living room was filled with furniture. My little boy has his own room. My little sister has a room. We were just having a nice time. We were having a nice time. And then around 2007, around before, in the first 3 months, things started to go bad for us. First, my husband lost a job, and we had to move out of the house. When he lost the job, we had to move out of the house because we could not afford living there. We could not afford buying a house to begin with. That monthly salary was not that big to buy a house, so we were just renting. So finally, luckily, I never gave up my little F. I never sold it. I never gave it up. So we went back to my little F. But the problem was, now we are bringing in this fancy furniture and TVs and bikes, new bikes and toys and big things in this little shack house. And as we know, this area is, we all were very poor people. We had no proper furniture, no proper toys for our children, and all the eyes are now staring at us moving back. And it's our stuff. Where will we? We sold some. We sold some to be able to pay bills and so on. But the leftovers, the things we had were really good quality. And my husband was someone who would really go and find good quality. He used to buy at a German second-hand shop, really good quality, big, huge bed. My bed was super big and soft, and it was super good for my bed back. Those were also the little things that I liked about him. He would always make sure that he take good care of me. We eat good, I sleep good. He would be going around and telling my wife has a problem with the back. I don't like this mattress. I need this. He would be fighting for me and my little boy. So those are also little things I liked about him so much, that he was always fighting for me and always standing up for me. He would never find someone talking down on me or talking disrespectful to me, and he would be standing up for him. It was so much mixed emotions. Sometimes I didn't like the things he did, and sometimes I just adore the things he was doing. It was a mixed emotion face. So yeah, confusion from it was, yeah, I couldn't figure out, do I like him, don't I like him? It was super confusing. Yeah, but we moved back with this fancy furniture, fancy toys. It was like the whole location was standing there and staring at us, staring. Like our kitchen was like this kitchen cabinets were beautiful with TVs in the rooms. We still haven't built our little place. We're still trying to do that, but we still haven't built. And I was really just desperate to take him out of this area when he got a job, because I also thought that because of the area, that's why he's always hanging out at these shebins, these pubs and these bars located in that bad areas that I didn't want. So I thought if we move out, he will not go back to those places. Yeah, so we moved back and we started our life there again. He got another little job, not so well paid, but it was a job. He went back to his overall, from being a supervisor of something. He went back to his overall, but he still went back to to that little job. And I was a student. I studied being my college phase just the previous year, and this is now the beginning of the second year of my second year. So I was there. I moved. I even did. None of my classmates even knew that I was not living in that nice area anymore. When they met me, I was living a good life, a nice area, and was married with a white man. So they were thinking, this is a high class person. Although I was really, I'm a really trying to be a humble person because of where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from extreme poverty, I don't want to look down on anyone. Even when I'm in a good place, I try to reach out to others. I try to help as much as I can. I don't look down on anybody. So yeah, because I hated when people were looking down on us and I was not behaving like I'm better than anyone. So, but I kept it a secret that I was now moving in shacks, living in shacks, and yeah. So we started our life. I continued with my college classes. Yes, I was struggling. It was sometimes we would go with that little scooter I hated it. I hated it, but it was bringing me faster to school than working to school. So he would drop me there, and then we would continue with his work, go to his workplace. And I even now gave back my little sister back to my mom, because we were now again struggling. We were again back to struggling phase. Things just kept happening, and one after another, one after another. First, my little sister got sick, and she was admitted in the hospital. And around my birthday, April, there was another incident that happened around my birthday. This husband of mine decided to go and buy me a cake. We were struggling, and I didn't want to make a big deal of out of my birthdays and so on. So I said, leave it. But he went and go pick up my father, my sister with her children, and we were just having a little barbecue. So he went again. He was going up and down. He was so restless, always restless. So we went to bring me a cake. We are sitting there and waiting for the cake. And later, my sister also went back because it was getting cold, it was getting late, and she also went back without seeing the cake. So, but this uncle went, told me he's going to buy a cake, went with his scooter to the farm where my son's father was living. My first son's father was still working at a farm school, so he went there. So I remember one of my colleague, my friend, my dear friend, called me and say, "Is something wrong with your son?" Because I asked, "No, it's my birthday. We are just here. We were eating, and my husband went to look for a cake, but he's not here." They say, "Maybe it's someone else, but the white man was here looking for your little boy's father." And I was confused, huh? Like, what? Why? What are you talking about? No, he just came in and asked for your little boy's father, and he left. We showed him where he's staying, where the farm is, and he left. And I was extremely confused. Then another call came in, and those were now the people, my little boy's relatives, who told me, "We pick up your husband, he's in the hospital." And then another call came in, my husband's boss, the guy he was working for, telling me, "I brought your husband here, he's in hospital, Catholic hospital." And I'm confused, what's going on? I told him he just went to buy my cake. Why is he in the hospital? No, he was in an accident there in Comas, and he is now in the hospital. I was standing there surprised and angry, like, why is he there? Why is he looking for my little boy's father? What's going on? Why is he there? And I went to the hospital the next day, and he's telling me, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me. I thought you will go back with your little boy's father. I cannot give you a child. You will obviously go back with your ex-boyfriend. And I thought I have to go and fight with him because you will go back with your ex-boyfriend." And then my this guy is also calling me, my little boy's father is calling me and asking me, "What is going on? Why is your husband looking for me? Is the child sick? Or have you told him you are back with me? I don't want stress." Because my boy's father, he was never involved in our lives. He didn't care about this child. He never was really showing any interest, and now he's surprised that why is this guy now looking for me? I'm not bothering them, I'm just living my little life. Why is this guy looking for me? And he's now asking these questions to me, and I'm saying, I don't even know. It's my birthday, the guy just went to buy me a cake, so I don't know why he would be looking for you. I don't understand. I am at the hospital trying to understand that. So he broke this bone, scleropian. What is it in English? Collarbone. If I say it wrong, forgive me, but this bone he broke and he was like this. Oh my goodness, my people. I wanted to break that thing down. This guy was giving me stress all the time. Why is he there? Why was he looking for my ex-boyfriend? I don't even talk. It's years since I talked to this guy. Why would you just out of the blue look for the birthday cake and decide you will go fight with the ex-boyfriend? This guy was confusing me. This guy was extremely, it was these things that was happening were not even contributed by anything, and I could not understand what am I dealing with here. What is this guy? What is going on? So I met him at the hospital and say, yeah, and you know what God did? It was his family who picked me up. I fell from the bike. It was raining. I fell from the bike. I slid and fell from the bike, and his family found me there and brought me to the hospital. Actually, they called my boss. I gave them my boss number, and they called my boss, and my boss brought me to the hospital. And I'm asking, what's going on with you? Are you crazy? Why were you looking for him? No, I wanted to fight with him because I thought we are not having children. I cannot have babies. I will never give you a baby. And this guy, you will go back to this guy. Okay, I just went back home. I did not go back to that hospital because I was really mad at him. I was really angry. I was really like, that's extra something. Now you will lose the job also. Now you will lose the job because of stupidity. He was constantly looking for stress, looking for something like, yeah, so that was also another thing, that he was just constantly looking for attention, looking for drama. And after that, he came out, he was like asking for forgiveness. And obviously, yeah, I was told to pray for this man. I was told to stay with this man no matter what is coming. It's just the enemy. And I stayed. I forgave him. We were together. And later that same month, even I was eating an egg. After my birthday, I was eating a boiled egg, and I just started vomiting, and I realized I was pregnant. And this man told me, he told me, I cannot have babies. I have doctor's letters. I cannot have babies. You made a plan. And I told him, if it is not yours, then it's also not mine. Because you are the only person I'm with. Then this baby, the doctors must tell us whose baby is this one. Because now I'm pregnant, and we both don't know whose baby this is. So we must find out, both of us must find out whose child is this one. So I fell pregnant. After he wanted to fight with someone or kill someone because he don't have a child, he was now having his own was coming. So I found out I'm pregnant, and at college. People, why is it like that? I was praying for a baby all this time, and now that I decided to go to the college to study, the baby is now here. I gave up that dream of having a baby, or having a baby for my husband, for us to have a little baby, and now I am having a baby. I'm now pregnant. I'm now pregnant. I'm now in the college, and I'm pregnant. So I'm now pregnant, and we are now celebrating. He's still very, very not trusting, but he's still, he knows me, but he's just like not really, he was really happy. He was really, even though my tummy was not showing, he was talking to the baby. He was really happy, but he was just still skeptic, like a little bit. Maybe this girl made a plan. Maybe she did something. She cheated, and now she's pregnant. But I was pregnant, and I was happy, because I was happy and also very. It was happy and stressed. It was not a very just happy moment, because I was studying. I'm a student, and now I'm pregnant, and I will take away time from my studies and all these things. So I was just wondering, what do I do? But I was also very happy that I was now I was finally pregnant, and we will be having our first baby together. though. So that's for part two. Let's stay tuned for part three. I'm trying to not make super long videos, and so, but I don't also want to make many big videos. So I will try to see how to go further on with the videos. How can I go on further with the videos to just condense? Or yeah. And another question, someone asked me, why am I now sharing the story? Why am I, after almost 17 years or after 20 years of going through these things, why am I sharing? Yeah, basically, when I moved, the mindset of the white people, of the European, is different. When I moved abroad, I saw that people are celebrating people who overcome trauma, overcome hardship. They don't blame us. African people, my country, my culture, people are laughing at you for going through something. People are gossiping about you. People are blaming you for being a victim. I was not part of anything that happened to me. I was not guilty. I did not do anything wrong, yet people treated me like I did something wrong. I was laughed at, I was gossiped about. But when I moved to Germany, they were so supportive. These people are using what they go through and telling their stories and helping others. For us, it's cover up, cover up, cover up. Don't air your dirty laundry. It's not dirty laundry. It's things, trauma, things that happen. Everyone is gossiping already. How is it something? How is it a secret if everyone else was gossiping about me all these years? So I decided, after going to Germany, someone actually told me to write a book telling my story. Finally, I decided this is not my burden to carry. This is something I can, this pain I went through, I can turn it into purpose. I can help someone else. Black culture, we don't talk about what we are going through. My mom was going through a lot, but she was just told that is how life is supposed to be. You carry this burden. You don't talk about what you are going through. They even actually celebrate for people for carrying this burden. Our culture is celebrating, it's encouraging people to suffer, encouraging people to be in abusive relationships, abusive marriages, and suffer, then telling them to get out and save themselves, then encouraging them to get out and get out of this abusive situation. We don't encourage each other to get out of abusive situations. And I decided I will get out of this abusive situation. I will get out of this marriage that I'm not happy, that I'm being abused emotionally and mentally, traumatized. I will get out. And that's the mentality of the European people, of the white people. They don't tolerate nonsense. They don't tolerate abuse. You are getting out and you are celebrated for that. You are encouraged. They treat you like you are a strong person for getting out of this. They don't label you like she's a divorcee, she's having no husband, she's now coming out. Our culture, our tradition is saying that you are now the one who broke the marriage, who you are not a good fit for being in a relationship again because you are a failure. That's how we are treating each other. That's even for that person, instead of learning from that person's mistakes, that person who went through this could have contributed to help others with their story. But instead of using this person, instead of encouraging this person and motivating this person to rebuild their life, we are just blaming this person, making them feel ashamed, making them feel guilty. But I decided, no, it is time for me to let this person out. It is time for me to not carry the burden I'm not supposed to carry. This was not my burden to carry. I did nothing wrong. I was not guilty of anything, and I should not feel ashamed for anything that happened to me. Instead, I will use my story to inspire others, to motivate others. So many women, as I'm speaking now, so many women, Namibian women, African women, are sitting in bad marriages, abusive marriages. It's not something of marrying white. Yes, that's also one point. Yeah, you people are looking for white men. It's not about white men or black men or what men. It's about what we went through, what I went through. So it's how many people, how many women are sitting with black men and being abused mentally, emotionally, physically. There are so many women sitting right now, this moment, sitting in marriages that they are breathing fire because of that means the abuse they are going through. But we are celebrating them for staying in such marriages. So we are celebrating, encouraging them to stay in abusive marriages. So I decided I will save myself. I was asking God, I was praying to God to save my marriage, but God stepped in and saved me and my children. And I will use my story to help anyone who is not taking my story to gossip about, but who is taking my story to encourage and be most motivated and be inspired and to maybe even break through, break out of a generational abusive marriages. Because in my culture, in my family, the men, our women were are staying in abusive marriages. Our mothers, our grandmothers were with abusive men, and they were encouraged to stay there. But for me, I'm breaking that cycle. I'm breaking that cycle, and I will use my story to encourage others to break that cycle. If you are not in a good place, don't be encouraged to stay there. Don't be told to stay there and pray. It's not your job. It's God's job to change people. You will never change people. You will destroy your family. You will see your children running away from your house, be street children because of what is going on at home. It's better to be alone and be laughed at and be gossip about, but sleeping peacefully and having your children eating that porridge with nothing in peace than staying in a situation where you are always in fear, always afraid what will come, always being abused emotionally, physically, mentally. It's better to be single and happy than in a relationship where you are not happy, where your children are always scared that the father will come home drunk and the fights will break out. I am not going to tolerate that. I am going to break that cycle. And that's why I decided I will share my story, even if it is just helping one person. And this is a story that is continuing. This is not the end. That my video now is just the part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. And thank you for always coming back. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Those comments are so motivating. Also put on the notification bell so you can be notified every time I'm uploading a new video, because I will just drop whenever I have chance. I will just drop until this whole story is out of my system. I want to let it out. I can help someone else out there. So I will say thank you and bye-bye for now. Stay tuned for part 3.